So I'm up in this gray pine in my backyard. Got a nice big old nasty gray pine to practice on. And doing some SRT practice here. One of my biggest concerns with SRT coming from MRS is being able to move your anchor point, right? This tree is really big, really sprawled out. It was going to be hard for me to get a good central anchor point in the tree from the ground. Looks like this is a little bit disorganized, so I'm going to explain what I've got going on here. So the tail end of my climb line, I set up for MRS, and I hooked that to my saddle. I set an SRT anchor on a crotch down there, and then I was able to SRT up with my foot ascender super easily. And when I set up that initial SRT anchor, I used the same anchor that I have here. So it's a alpine butterfly on what is essentially the tail end, with the carabiner around the working end, which goes all the way down to the bottom and terminates with a stopper knot. So this is the working end. This is my standing end. As long as my weight is on this, I'm good to go. This is a retrievable canopy anchor, so I can pull on this side and pull it out of the tree. What that also allows me to do is pull my anchor point once I got up to my initial anchor point that I set with the throw ball. Yeah, so I was able to pull my SRT anchor up, and there's a splice die on the bottom end here, and I just hooked that to a carabiner and dropped the rest of the rope down and hooked that somewhere on my saddle. And then I used my MRS system and my lanyard to get up to the crotch that I actually wanted from the get-go that I was not able to hit with the throw ball. Then I reestablished my same anchor point here. So here's my tail end that goes to the bottom. And then this is the other side of the tail end, which comes up and is my MRS system. I just wanted to pause and address something quickly here on my MRS system. I did just say that I had a spliced eye on the other end of my climb line, which obviously, why am I not using the spliced eye on my MRS system? That would obviously make a lot more sense. By the time I had my rope set in the tree and realized that I wanted to take an MRS system up with me with the other end of my rope, I realized that I couldn't use the spliced eye side because of the way I had the rope set in the tree. So basically that's the reason that you see it set up here. This was just a practice exercise, so I didn't bother, pulling everything out of the tree and starting over. If I was actually working the tree and this was my plan from the get-go, then I would have had it set up that way initially. But I just was kind of going with the flow and trying different things, and this is what I ended up with. So yeah, this rope is plenty long enough. I'm just using the MRS as positioning, so I'm never going to really be using more than 50 feet of it at a time. And obviously the other end being SRT, that end's not going to be moving. So that gives me plenty of safety on that side. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I like the idea of being able to move my anchor. I've always liked the ability of moving an anchor with MRS. I don't like being, concreted into one anchor point with a basal tie. I like having control over my rope while I'm in the tree. So I think I am going to be someone who prefers canopy anchors. Obviously, every situation's a little bit different. But if I was removing this tree, it would be really hard to come up with a complete thorough game plan from the ground, just because it's so big and sprawled out that I'm going to have to really get up into the tree and then go from there, at which point I would want to have access to all of my ropes. So yeah, basically I can lower down, and I have essentially 3 different points that I can use for positioning: my lanyard, the MRS system, and my SRT system, which is going to be my primary life support, with the MRS mainly being for positioning and getting me around the tree. And then when I'm all done, I can just basically untie my MRS system and let it go, let it drop down, and then I can lower to the ground at any point from my SRT system. And then when I'm all done, this is a retrievable canopy anchor. You just pull on, once there's no longer any weight on the working end, you just pull on the tail end and it pulls that out, and then you're all done. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do a voiceover on this clip of me rope walking. Keep in mind this is only my second time ever using SRT, so this is just a basically background video. When I initially recorded the clip in the tree, I wasn't sure exactly the format that I wanted to go with. So now that I'm doing a YouTube video, I just wanted to add a little bit more information. But yeah, basically the purpose of this, I just wanted to record my thoughts at the time, and then kind of share that with the internet in the hopes of learning something or spreading information. But basically my only goal is just to continue to get better and share what I have found that works and see what else is out there. So yeah, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, or if you found this maybe useful, definitely let me know. And yeah, maybe I'll continue to post more stuff like this, and maybe next I'll post just some of the gear that I have set up and my rope walking setup. So yeah, right on. Thanks, guys.